That's so sick. Yeah, Zeds Dead played out that track. Yeah, I was just mentioning, we just hit record, but if people missed that, I love your track Karma, and it's definitely been getting traction. So yeah, congrats. That's really sick. They just played Red Rocks, which is a nice, beautiful venue in Denver where I live. I'm right next to it.
They must have played it there because Denver just like randomly popped up as like, I got a huge bunch of streams in Denver.
That's really cool. You're on tour right now.
Yeah, I'm on tour right now, even though this month happened to be pretty chill. Last month, June, I was in a different city every week. It was crazy.
Well, I would love to see a live SHIMA set someday. Also, you should put Denver on your list now because I didn't see it.
Absolutely. I have to go to Denver at some point.
Yeah, this has kind of become like the bass music capital. It's pretty poppin' right now. That's a big reason why I moved here.
Yeah, I actually wanted to, for a minute, I was considering moving to Boulder just because, like, culturally, seems like I would fit in there.
Boulder is definitely not a cheap place to live, but it is really beautiful.
I mean, neither is LA.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
Also true. I know a lot of people have left LA in recent years because of that. So it's like Nashville is popping off right now. Austin, Texas is starting to grow, although not as much electronic music, but it's slowly growing there. Denver for sure. Yeah, a lot of those places. But thanks for joining the podcast. Yeah, I actually first found out about you in one of Ableton's Move's promo videos when they were launching the Move.
Oh, yeah.
And you did like a short video on that, which was really cool. And you like made a beat. So that's how I found out about your music and then started digging in and then found that track Karma I really love. But I kind of want to like have people get to know you a little bit better. I read and I did some digging and you started out doing like J-pop music at the very beginning days in high school, right? When you first were like starting to make music and stuff.
Yes.
Which is so different than your style now. Like I never would have guessed that ever.
Yeah.
How did you get into producing from that experience and how did that lead you into Ableton Live?
That whole thing started because when I was 14, when I was in middle school, like 8th grade, I was in my like school's production of like musical of was like Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoats. Like I was a little bit of a theater kid.
No shit. I was in the same play actually.
No way. Wait, what did you play?
I was just some background peasant. Like I wasn't anybody important. Yeah. I didn't matter.
Okay. That's funny. Yeah, so I was in like our school's production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoats. I wish the name was shorter. I hate saying it, but
it's a long one.
It's a long one. It's a mouthful. And there just happened to be like a scout from the label I was signed to, Avex, like in the audience, I guess. They were specifically seeking out young talent that could like sing in English and Japanese. So I went to like an American school in Japan. So he was going specifically to like international schools in the country to seek out people like me. And then he like invited me to audition and I did. And then I was in their artist training program getting like singing and dancing training for 2 years before they finally placed me in the group. And at the time it was like a no-brainer that I joined this group because it's like a massive career prospect. And, you know, when you're 14, 15, 16, like, you know, this is like by far the coolest, most exciting thing that ever happened to me. And so like, you know, my parents and I, my whole family, like we were all in, you know, mom was driving me to every single like lesson. Like I was never into J-pop or the kind of music that we were doing, like personally. I was like a little pretentious indie music kid. Like I liked Crystal Castles and like Flying Lotus and like, you know, Jay Dilla. So like I was definitely like, I felt like I was leading a double life because we're doing this like J-pop, very, very commercial, mainstream, cookie cutter, like pop, like very manufactured pop music.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing like professionally, but then personally I was like, this shit is lame. Like, in my personal life, like I did not like, I thought I was like way too cool for the stuff that we were doing. And like,
that's funny.
To me it was like a very clear, like this is my job, this is the music and the art. I don't even like, that this is like for work. And then I opened up GarageBand on my laptop and I like started just like making some beats, you know. This is like when Toki Monster was first popping, like coming up too.
Oh,
It
nice.
was like the golden, like 2016, like SoundCloud, like Beats era.
Yeah.
So I was super inspired by that, and I just started making these like little beats on GarageBand, and you know I was like not confident about it at all, and I didn't show anybody. I uploaded them all to SoundCloud, but they're like private or unlisted or whatever. And yeah, eventually I left the girl group and quit the label because I turned 18. Everyone else we all graduated high school. Everyone else was going to college, so it was kind of time for me to decide, do I stay in the group? Do I do this? Or do I go to college? And ultimately, I decided to go to college.
Yeah. And you went to school for music and computer engineering, right?
Yeah.
Which I find a lot of people who gravitate to using Ableton, a lot of times they have, I mean, at least a lot of the students and stuff I've had work in like IT or like computer science or have some kind of technical background that like really kind of gravitate to that program. It seems like not everybody, obviously, but I find that people who are in that field usually pick it up pretty fast.
Mm.
Do you think that like that background that you had in music and computer engineering made it a lot easier to get into Ableton Live, or like,
Absolutely.
are you glad you even got that degree? Do you think that
Oh,
helped
yeah.
with your
Yeah.
music at all?
Oh, absolutely. I know a lot of people feel like college was a scam and that their education was like not actually useful to them in real life, like after they graduated. But I feel very much the opposite. Like, even though I'm not working as an engineer like right now, I still think problem solving skills and like, you know, the way I think, the way I approach problem solving, I have a lot more patience when like I'm having like a technical issue or like can't figure out how to do something. I want to do this, but I don't know how to do it. I would just like not do it or give up. But now I'm like, no, I'm going to go on Reddit or whatever, like I'll YouTube it, figure out a way. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that is like the one thing about like going to college or school I think that is beneficial is it forces you to do stuff you don't want to do on a regular basis. And I think in a way that kind of builds character. And I feel like that's kind of helped me as well, like in my process with like making music. Cause like it took me 3 or 4 days to figure out how to get sound out of Ableton Live in like 2013 when I first opened it. And it's like, I was like, what is this crazy looking spreadsheet thing? I think there is something about like building that character that like can help some people set up for success.
Totally. Yeah. I just have a lot more confidence in my ability to like figure shit out
Yeah.
because I was forced to, you know? So I was like, okay, if I just actually like take the time and like think through this and approach it like the way I had to approach my C++ homework or whatever, like,
Yeah, that makes sense. So because of your technical background, have you played much with Max for Live? Have you gotten into any of that side of it?
actually no, but everyone keeps telling me I should. So I will.
Do whatever you want, I guess. Like, I don't know. I never went down that rabbit hole because I feel like I'd make less music if I just spent all day like playing around making devices and not actually making music. But I think that like some people that could be a really awesome path. Like Dank Sauce. There's a lot of people on this podcast who are very technical, have technical backgrounds, and they sell a lot of Max for Live devices or they create like crazy random effects.
That's actually a great idea. I definitely want to like I need to be established as an artist first. Once I have, you know, like a following and like a distinct sound and I've made a name for myself as a producer, I definitely also like want to like release my own line of plugins or like,
Mm.
you know, like Steve Duda with Serum or like
Yeah.
Data Life and Sausage Fattener. But Max for Live, that would be a good one too. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and it's getting way smarter too with like AI integrations now. And
Mm,
with the release of 12, Max for Live is a lot more open source in a sense.
okay.
So there's a lot more you can do with the release of 12 than you could before. So speaking of Ableton Live stuff, maybe we can nerd out a little bit. Do you have any favorite live features that you typically gravitate to? I know that you also use the move and push, so maybe we can get into that as well.
Yeah, 1 second. I just realized my computer's not plugged in.
Oh, you're good.
I want it to randomly die.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I've got spaghetti monsters under my studio desk right now. There's just cables everywhere.
Yeah, there in German there's a word for it. It's called a cable salad.
Cable salads.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I have a lot of salads around here.
Yeah.
So
Cobbles
it's
a lot.
like a buffet of a salad buffet. A
Okay.
couple episodes ago, my dog ran behind my desk and unplugged the one power strip holding everything together in the middle of the
Oh
episode.
no, not the one power strip, the master power. Yeah.
Everything just shut off, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
Okay, so actually, the Ableton feature that like made me convert to Ableton is drum rack, and I also feel like it's such a underrated. Like I don't see a lot of people using drum racks. I see a lot of people who use Ableton. They just like drag their drum samples directly into the arrangement, like onto the tracks.
Yeah,
I just yeah, I don't really know anyone else who uses drum racks. And for example, like you've made your entire track, you decide at the end like, oh, I actually want to change this snare. Like if you were just dragging clips into your arrangement, like you have to then individually replace every single, audio clip, but like with drum
right.
rack you can just swap it out and it applies to everything. If you want to like change your the pitch, for example, you can just like change the pitch and then like copy value to siblings and applies to everything.
Yeah,
You can drop effects, like it has like its own sends, so you can like drop effects in there. To all the producers out there who are using Ableton but aren't using drum rack, like you got try using drum rack. I swear it'll change your life. Like
100%. Yeah, the drum rack's awesome. Like as a drummer, like that's a huge bonus for me as well. There is a specific drum rack preset, and it's called Selector Kit, but it's made so that you can basically just turn one knob and then it'll cycle through all the different samples that you load into a sampler in the zones. And so you can basically just have one drum rack that you use for every track. And then you just have all of your snares in one cell. You have all of your hi-hats in one cell. You have
yep.
all your kicks. And then you can go through and just swap them out really easy and just by turning the knob or automate it in the clip.
I know what you're talking about, but also, yeah, like you can save your drum racks and like reuse them, in other tracks. And like, so over the years, I've just like built up all these drum racks, like I'll have like an several Afrobeats drum racks or like a hip hop drum rack or whatever it is. And there's just so much. And then obviously the fact that like, then if you plug your push into it, like it automatically, now you can just play it live too.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever played with the Maxfly device called Instant House?
Mm-mm.
It's a really old one. I think it's from like Live 8 or something, but it still works.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Instant House. It's like HAUS. Everybody has it, but it's basically just a kick, snare, hi-hat, and percussion. And then you can choose the exact note that you want. You can just turn a knob for the pattern, and it's for anybody who makes house music.
Mm-hmm.
And you can and it automatically, it's a sequencer that just generates notes based off of the pattern that you choose. And so you could just throw some stuff in a drum rack and then just assign the note value to this thing. And the sequencer basically just instantly creates a house beat for you right away.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. You should play with it.
Yeah, I'm looking. I just like pulled up the like on Ableton's website.
Yeah, you can just like turn the knob. You can add some swing really easily for every single individual drum sound and the velocity, and do some randomization with the like the way that it feels. Anybody who makes house music, that's kind of a hidden gem in there.
I wonder if I could, like, you could still use this for other, not just house.
Yeah,
beats.
Probably. It generates mostly just like a 4 on the floor instant beat. So it's designed for that, but I'm sure you could get weird with it.
Yeah, or like maybe make a version, like a similar version, but for like trap or like, hip hop or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's useful.
Maybe you can make a Max for Live device that's like this for trap.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Sweet. Any other like go-to tools in Ableton that you use in a lot of your tracks?
Actually, I did want to say about drum rack too. I also don't just use drum rack for drums. I'll use it for like making vocal chops too. Again, because like I'll have a bunch of like one-shot vocals, right? And then I'll drag them into drum rack and then randomize different like patterns so that they're triggering like the vocal one-shots, and like you can do choke, for example, so that they're not going to start overlapping each other, Let's say you want to change the key of your song later on, just pitch it up, pitch up one of them and copy value to siblings, or you want to change effects, like it just applies to all of them at once.
Yeah.
So that's a trick that I like to use, using drum rack for not just drums but other things that I don't really see other people doing.
Do you record a lot of your own vocals and do that, or do you just find like
Yeah.
vocal samples? Okay.
Both actually. I've done it with my own vocals. I also have done it with random Splice vocals. If I want male vocals specifically,
Yeah.
I can't really do that. So,
Well, you could. You just have to pitch it down. Maybe use like Little Altar Boy or something.
yeah, I have done that, but Little Altar Boy, I don't know. I get like weird phasing, stuff going on with Little Altar Boy. I feel like I noticed that one day because I had a track where I pitched up my vocals using Little Altar Boy. I uploaded it to TikTok, and I don't know if TikTok still does this, but at the time, this is like a couple years ago, I didn't notice until afterwards. I noticed when I uploaded the audio to TikTok, I was like, it sounds so weird. The vocals sound really weird. Like, what is going on? It sounds like a weird phasing issue going on. And then I realized TikTok uploads audio to mono, which
Really?
which is insane considering like TikTok is like the music discovery app. Like it's like made so many artists. It's like a really important app for music. Like yet maybe maybe it's not that way anymore now, but like I've noticed, whenever I uploaded stuff to TikTok and I was using Little Altar Boy, the vocals would, because it's uploading to mono, so you get it just like there's like ducking and stuff.
Interesting. So that's so crazy. I'm looking it up right now. It says TikTok forces stereo audio files uploaded into mono. The only way to get the stereo audio that I know of is to use songs from Spotify. So I guess if you add a song or tag a song in the video from another streaming platform, then it will play it back in stereo. But if you just upload it yourself, a lot of times it converts it to mono. That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Obviously, I'm uploading my own audio, on my videos, because that's.
I guess it depends on the format in which you upload it as well.
Oh,
so
really?
the type of file, I guess, does also make a difference according to ChatGPT.
Okay.
I'm asking it right now. It says how to keep stereo audio on TikTok if you use .mov files. If you render your video in stereo as a .mov file, preferred instead of an MP4. So maybe try that. Maybe try it.
Oh, okay. Because I do MP4.
If you upload, are you using an iPhone?
But I edit my videos on Premiere Pro, and then.
Yeah, so it probably is doing MP4 then. If you're rendering, that's the default.
No, I'm exporting as MP4.
Yeah.
And like airdropping to my phone and uploading from there.
Okay. So yeah, maybe try that. Maybe try uploading as an MOV file. See if that makes a difference.
I'm absolutely gonna do that. But yeah, they say always check your mixes in mono for a reason. I literally never do that. I'm like, why does it matter? There's no 2025 or whatever. Like, is anyone ever playing anything in mono? And then I just noticed like TikTok, like my stuff was sounding so weird in TikTok, and for the longest time I thought it was like a levels thing. Maybe my audio was too loud, and then I was like, no, it's in mono. I found out because I downloaded the TikTok and then like opened up the audio file like in Ableton, and it's a mono file. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's a good pro tip for everybody too that you just said, is like check your stuff in mono for sure, because that's going to give you a good idea of what's going on with phase, if there's any cancellation. And also a lot of playback environments are mono, like a lot of Bluetooth speakers, clubs, a lot of public systems are in mono anyway. And it helps you like kind of really know if there's any kind of EQ masking as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always check in mono as well. I actually have the Baritone Mix Cube. Have you ever seen those?
Mm-mm.
I could show you what it looks like. It's like this little thing, a speaker.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, I have a PreSonus monitor station, which I recommend for anybody if you want to like pay $200 and have more than just, dual speakers. But I always have that thing and I just run it mono, and that's always like my final test. And it's really honest if you want to listen to anything in mono. It's just like it's mostly mid range and like brightness. And I think it goes down to like 120 hertz, but
What's
it's
it
pretty
called?
good. It's the Baritone Mix Cube, Behritone. Yeah,
Okay.
it's an active speaker. I think it's just called reference monitor. Yeah, the Mix Cube. It's the 5.25 inch.
Oh, cool.
But I love that thing. And it's pretty affordable. It's like $250 for like a speaker
Yeah.
that's going to help you dial in your mixes. Because iPhones are like stereo. Like your
Mm-hmm.
phone is actually stereo. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people think it's mono.
No. The voice memos are mono.
Oh,
I
really?
Yeah, because I
That makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, I use voice memo a lot for just getting like field recordings and stuff, like if I want to
Hmm.
sample things. And
I know a lot of people who do that kind of stuff. I think it was Chuck Sutton, if you know who that is. I think I saw
yeah, I know
him.
him like personally.
Yeah, me too. He's a good friend. We were just
Yeah.
texting the last couple of days. I think it was him that posted a video on how you can literally airdrop into Ableton a voice memo,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of cool. I never even tried. It's convenient.
I actually don't think I've done like airdrop directly into Ableton, but I do that all the time. Just if I have like a quick vocal idea and I don't want to like set all this up, or if I'm on the go. And sometimes I end up leaving it that way too, because like it sounds fine. Like if with the right processing, like voice memo can sound great. Yeah. Especially if you don't mind a little bit of like a intentionally low quality sound.
Yeah, I know Dactyl. I'm pretty sure it was Dactyl said that
Yes,
he
also know him
record.
personally.
Yeah, he's super nice. He recorded drum overheads with 2 iPhones in voice memos. And because of the compression on the phone, it actually like kind of slams the overhead. So the mids and the trebles are like really tight and it sounds pretty good.
Nice.
He definitely post processed them after, but out of the box he said he got a pretty good sound out of it.
Yeah, no, voice memo quality is great. I can't remember. I think it like doesn't go over like capture over like 8K or something like that. Like there's definitely missing
Mm,
hot like super high end. I don't know. If you're not trying to get like the cleanest sound ever, which like a lot of times you don't need the cleanest sound ever. Most HD,
yeah.
like especially for like the genres that like electronic, more experimental genres. So underrated tool I think too is voice memo.
Yeah. Yeah, I just looked it up. It says the low end cutoff is 100 hertz for iPhone's built in mic, and the high end is 10 kilohertz. So it probably does give it like a warmer sound if you're just having a filter off at like 10K.
Yeah, I also actually like sometimes to filter off like super high end, like
Mm.
for drums or vocals. Like I'll purposely filter off everything above like 10K or 12K, but
Oh,
then I'll
really?
add back in, like, I'll add some saturation or distortion or something and add back in the super high end, but that it's just like saturation. So
Yeah.
I find that that's a kind of you can get a cool sound from that.
Yeah, definitely. I do something pretty similar as well. So I will carve that off before I clip it on the master. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense to do that. Is there any other like Ableton Live specific features that you feel like are worth shouting out, or even plugins that you use?
Yeah, there's this resonator, or series of resonators that I've been like really digging recently. It's called like Loop Hollow, Loop Metal Needle, Loop Percussifier. Loop Percussifier is like probably the one. Actually, no, I use all of them, but like I actually used it on Karma. So there are these fills in the drop of Karma that like keep coming back, but they're slightly varied each time. So like an FM synth sound at one point, and then like in the next bar it's more percussive sounding, like it sounds more like a metallic kind of clanging sound. So
Yeah.
the source sound is the same sound, but then I have the loop percussifier or like loop metal needle resonators on them, and I like tweaked around with it. And basically like the loop metal needle, for example, it will just take any sound and like make it metallic sounding. Like
Oh,
give
cool.
it, yeah.
Is this Ableton's Resonator or is this a
Mm-hmm.
plugin?
No, it's
Okay.
Ableton's. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's like a
Nice.
preset. Yeah.
Yeah, it has scale awareness now, which is really cool. In 12, they added that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was an issue before, is like if you change notes or whatever and you had the resonator, it's going to just basically shift to the next, semitone or whatever. So it could kind of throw it out of pitch a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But now if you lock it in, it's going to just jump to the next scale degree instead of the semitone.
Mm.
So it'll stay in key and resonate in key, which is nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So I mean, if you pull up like if like loop percussifier, there's like beam marimba string membrane plate pipe tube. So
Oh, sick. Yeah, I've never played with this.
yeah. So like I don't know. I just I could. This is like one of those things, or I could just accidentally spend 2 hours just like tweaking all the little knobs on there
Yeah,
and
for sure.
like generating, just having fun with the sound design. But I feel like there's a lot of cool little tools like that in Ableton that like, has this always been here? I just randomly found this and then now I'm like,
Yo, that's why I love doing this podcast. It's just because I get to learn new shit like this from people like you. Like I'll have to play with this later. Corpus is like really underrated. It really is. It's like the stepchild of Ableton that gets forgotten about.
mm.
I love this thing. You can do a lot with it.
There's also like, even if it's something simple like distortion or whatever, there's just a lot of like presets, and like things
Hmm.
that you can just kind of drag and drop.
Yeah, I'll have to play with that loop percussifier.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, I just saved it into my collections, which I need to get better about organizing for sure.
Me too. Oh, that's definitely my biggest weakness as a producer is like the lack of organization.
Yeah, I feel that. The amount of times I've heard that from people on this podcast is amazing.
Oh, really? I know some producers who are like just have the most organized sample libraries, like everything, all their projects, like everything is like color coded, and
Yeah.
that girl in high school who has like 15 different color highlighters and like, like and her notes are just like,
I envy that person. I was just
yeah, me
happy if I
too.
remembered my books going to class. That was like the struggle. Yeah, organization is like highly underrated.
It's such a time saver.
For real. And especially when you're producing, like the last thing you want to do is try to be like, where's that one kick drum I used or whatever? Like nobody has time for that.
Yeah, that's another really useful part, like feature in Ableton that I don't think other DAWs have, is that like you can drag in tracks from other projects into your project, right? I use that all the time if I have, like a drum track or whatever that I used in another song, and like I just want to like, I didn't save that drum rack, for example, or like whatever effects I used, whatever like effect rack I made for it, I didn't save it because I'm unorganized. Like I can just drag it in.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that in Logic. Although in Logic, obviously you can have multiple projects open at once, which I wish Ableton allowed.
I think you can in like the newer version of Logic, maybe. I know FL Studio you can,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really use them that often. That is kind of a nice hack, is just being able to drag like a whole entire track into the browser if you wanted to and save clips or like scenes or just like effects racks and stuff like that. Getting better about that. And like the new browser update in 12 with the auto tags is really nice. I noticed
Oh
that saved
yeah.
me some time too. And I'm curious to see like what the browser looks like in the next, say, major update or two, because it seems like they've been focusing a lot more on workflow enhancements.
Mm.
And with like AI, I would imagine in the next year or two, we're going to be able to have better searchability and things are just going to be auto organized a lot better for us,
Yeah.
which I'm definitely looking forward to because I was never that kid who had the color organized binders. So that
Yeah,
would be
no,
nice.
like Auto tagging like all your drum samples, like all your auto tagging all your samples is a big one, and that's definitely exactly the kind of perfect job for AI to do.
Yeah.
Actually, when I my first internship was at Splice,
Oh,
um,
cool.
and that's literally the project that I was working on. Like while there is back when Splice first started, they had whoever submitted the sample pack tags generates their own tags for all the samples. So like
Mm.
you're just relying on the like artists or whatever to tag their own samples. So it's like not standardized, incorrect. Some people like put like 30 tags on their samples, and some people only put one. Or it was like a problem where like, is it snare or snares? Like,
It
and
sounds like a
so
nightmare.
yeah, and they were like, we need to figure out a way to like standardize this and like have like a proper tagging system. But like for someone to manually go through and do that is obviously like impossible. Their their library is huge.
Yeah, it is.
Like the team that I was working with, like we were like making AI models to auto tag the whole Splice library. So now everything on Splice is like AI. All the tagging is AI, and also they added that feature a while back that's like C similar.
Yeah,
You know,
that's nice too. I use that a lot. Yeah.
yeah, that's also AI. It works best for like drum one shots. I don't think it's not very good with loops right now.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know if I've tried it with loops. Yeah, I mean, Ableton did a similar thing, which is really nice too. For samples, you can just right click and show similar files, which is kind of
Yeah,
nice too.
yeah, super useful. I use that all the time.
It does a pretty decent job. I'd say most of the time. It does an okay job, but I imagine that'll just keep getting better.
Yeah, yeah. It's usually things like that is like it'll be like really good for a certain type of thing. Like it might be really good at finding like like drum one shots, but then as soon as you get to like chords or
Yeah.
it's like
More complex audio.
yeah, or just it's hard to have like a one size fits all model AI model.
Well, there's going to be some new updates and things with audio. I can't say yet that I found out about that I'm really excited for the next big release of Ableton that I think
Oh.
is going to solve some of that
Oh,
and do a
you're
lot more.
are you a beta? Are you like on their beta testing team, or like you just like
No, I just all my friends are.
okay.
So I hear stuff I probably shouldn't hear about.
Oh.
But yeah, we could talk later. But basically, yeah, there's going to be some cool stuff, I think. And I think you kind of have to be super innovative now as a DAW because there's so many like AI tools and workflows happening, and like there's a lot of competition out there for making music and having a platform to just make music on. I mean, people are making like I heard a guy the other day who made a really sick track on his iPad in GarageBand, and like I was like, I would never know it was on GarageBand. Like it sounded incredible.
Wow.
Ableton has to continue to push the bar and be incredibly innovative if they want to continue to compete. I think in the market, there's a lot of
Yeah, for sure.
changes coming. Yeah.
For sure.
Also, I saw in one of your YouTube reels or YouTube shorts that you were using Bouncy Notes for some
Yes.
like melody sounds. I love that thing.
Actually, I was gonna say too, the Bouncy Notes is another really good one. Um,
It's in the Inspired by Nature pack for anybody who doesn't know.
yes, yes. Yeah, another one of those like tools, I guess it's a device that like I could just accidentally spend hours just tweaking it.
Yeah.
Ableton has a lot of stuff like that. I feel like that's just like endless like rabbit hole potential.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's also kind of fun. I feel like I'm playing like Pong or some like old game because it's just like that little ball is just bouncing around.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of aesthetically pleasing to look at.
It is. It's fun. It's fun to use.
Everything, anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, like everything in the Inspired by Nature pack is basically kind of resembling physics in some way. So like it has like simulated gravity or friction that's like
Mm-hmm.
making the ball bounce up and down and move around based on the settings that you set. every time the ball like contacts like the piano roll, a MIDI note is triggered. So it just creates like these kind of fun random generated melodies, and you can lock it into key too if you wanted. But it's a yeah, it's a fun like creative way just to come up with like arpeggiated melody sounds.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I feel like Ableton has a lot of tools like that that are really helpful for like getting over beat block, or like if you just want to get inspired, there's a lot of like randomization, or like yeah, like the Bouncy Notes is a perfect example of like you could just like mess around with some parameters and it might generate like a melody, or I think you can even do like chords with it. You just get like new ideas, and like it might come up with like in with a melody that you would have never thought of on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, I like using it for like a lot of ambient kind of sounds or like bells, kind of like moving pads and stuff. Like with Meld. I don't know if you play with Meld much, but if you use scale and Meld, I've done that with Bouncy Notes and it gets some really cool effects.
I don't think I have, and not with Bouncy Notes. But yeah, I have a song, it's actually the one of my first release, and in the second drop, I have this like arpeggiated bell sound that's kind of ambient, but it is like the lead sound, and I used Bouncy Notes there.
Cool. So maybe let's talk about like push and move because I know you use those a lot. Are there any favorite features or go-to workflows you use push or the move for?
Um, I actually don't really use, so you don't have to like include this, but I
Okay.
actually don't really use push that much in my like workflow. I use it more of like a performance device. If I want to play like a melody, and like I do like the pitch bend. It's easy to like, sometimes it's just easier to like play it in.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, no, I see the push more as like a way to play elements of my tracks live. It is really convenient that for like drum rack, for example, it just like loads up automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of nice you can lock it into scale too. For people like me who aren't like really great with music theory, I find it's like kind of nice in the isomorphic keyboard just to be able to move around. And the pads are really nice too. I actually think what I'm probably going to use it the most for now is just for drum tracking because you can run ADAT in up to 8 inputs. So I can have 8 microphones to record my drums, which is at like another place. And rather than carrying my interface, my rack mount gear, and the microphones and everything, I could just leave the mic set up there and then just show
Mm,
up and just plug the ADAT into the push and record on the push and then just take the push with me. That's it. So it's like
mm,
really convenient not having to carry my computer and like any other hardware anywhere. I could just take my push and record my drums doing a session at the other studio and then come back and have all of it, just drop it into my studio computer and the session will just be there.
yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, not having to like take your computer around everywhere is huge.
Good stuff. I saw you mention that you like to, or you like SonarWorks and how you mix in untreated spaces, which can be tough. I just had SonarWorks CEO on the podcast talking about like their new Sound ID products. Have you liked it? Have you liked using their calibration?
Yeah, I think like tools like that are super important for me because I do all my mixing on headphones. I have like the worst acoustic like room ever. This room is absolutely has horrendous acoustics.
Nice.
So I produce and I mix like everything on headphones, and oftentimes the first time I'm ever hearing my track like is when I'm playing it like in a set. I'm like hearing it for the first time like in a proper.
Yeah, the moment of truth. It's like you're always like, well, this is going to be awesome, or I'm going to have some work to do later.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I also like I don't have a car, so like I can't do the car speaker test, which I feel like is like an important thing. So like Sound ID has the like it simulates different speakers, right? Like iPhone speakers or like car speakers or whatever. So I can't do the car speaker test, but I do a simulated car speaker test. yeah, I just tools like that I rely on as a bedroom producer.
You could just like ask every Uber driver to play your music, and then you could get a bunch of different car speaker tests, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna keep getting Ubers, ordering them in a loop.
Yo, I know somebody who actually did that. And
Really?
yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, he didn't do it in like a long loop, but he like over the course of a week, because he didn't have a car either, he just like forced every Uber driver to play his music, and then he can listen to it on a bunch of different speakers. I was like, honestly, that's not a bad idea. It's
That
really
is,
not.
wow, I admire that. I really admire the personality that it takes to.
You just have to have a lot of like shameless confidence where you're just like, I don't really care. Here, can you play this track? And most of the time, I feel like Uber drivers are like, yeah, sure, why not?
That's so, that's a problem solver right there. Like
It
that is
is.
an out of the box thinker. I admire that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Maybe you should do that more.
No, no, you know what? That's, I should do that.
Yeah, I mean, they want that good review, so they're not going to say no.
No, and you might even grab a fan along the way.
Exactly. Yeah, have them follow you. Yeah, good idea. So you are using the SonarWorks headphone calibration then. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay. I haven't used it. They gave me an NFR to use it, but I've never tried it. Are you happy with it? I need to play with it.
I guess so. I don't like, do they have any like competing, like competitors? Like, I have no basis of comparison. I've only ever used that.
I don't know about the headphone calibration. I don't know of any others doing headphone calibration. They might be out there, but I'm not aware of any. When it comes to speaker calibration, there's a lot of competitors. But for
Mm-hmm.
headphones, I'm not sure. He did say something that like I was really blown away by that I'm going to want to test later to see how real this is. But he said that they've got an update coming later this year, by the end of the year or early next year, that is going to make it so if you were to use their headphone calibration, it's going to be able to perfectly match a room environment with speakers. He said they had a Grammy winning engineer that they did a test with, and he sat in front of his speakers and he took off his headphones and then he put on his headphones so he couldn't tell the difference.
Whoa,
So
that's cool.
apparently there's a huge update coming where it's going to be able to match speaker quality. Now you probably won't get that like fuzzy feeling that you get from the bass in the room, right? From big
Yeah, yeah,
speakers.
yeah, of course.
But from a hearing perspective, that's going to apparently be a game changer. We'll see. That's what he said.
Regardless of whether or not it becomes like really popular and like people use it, like that is a remarkable feat of engineering, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for
That's
sure. I'm excited for that day.
yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I would not want to approximate this listening environment though.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for somebody like you, like you're traveling on tour, you're still working, like having a good set of headphones you really understand, and or having headphones you can calibrate if that's what you want to do to get like more accurate sound makes a ton of sense.
True, actually, the house I lived in before this one, I really liked it wasn't professional, obviously, but for a bedroom studio, like I really it was a pretty good listening environment, and I got really used to producing and mixing in that setup. So
Mm.
then, if I did have to like do stuff on headphones, it was like hard. I didn't have a good sense, of like what things sound like or like how it would translate on speakers. So something like that would have been really useful. Yeah, again, if you're like really used to like working in one listening environment and then you have to then you're traveling or whatever and work on headphones to just simulate that.
Yeah, totally. I think we have the same headphones right now. Are these
Yeah,
the
the
MX
audio.
or M50X Audio
Yes.
Technicas? Is that what you
Yeah.
have? Yeah, I
Mhm.
love these things. They're great for DJing and mixing.
Oh yeah, I've been using these since I started making. I've never used any other headphones. These are the only headphones I've ever used.
Yeah, I never want to buy headphones again where you can't detach the cord either, because that saved me on these headphones. I had to get a different cord because it shorted out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can also change the headband and like these pads too.
Oh yeah, I just upgraded the pads. Not these, but I have another pair of these. And it's like a mix between the leather and mesh
Mm.
because apparently the leather headphone pieces are good for trapping some of the lower frequencies. But if you have the mesh, it's like a little more breathable, and it's also still good for like mid-range. So I have like a
Mm.
mix, like the outer part is leather and then the inner part stuck to your head is mesh. So it's like more breathable. I actually like those
Oh,
if you ever have to replace these ears.
okay.
You can get them on Amazon or wherever else.
Oh, good to know. Yeah. Yeah, I know, especially if you're like DJing with them, like they can get real sweaty and gross.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah, you
sure.
gotta like I've had to change this so many times because I'm like it's starting to get gross.
Yeah, you have to get out the like disinfectant wipe. I usually keep a couple in my bag, especially when it comes to microphones. Microphones are gross. Like I just the thought of using somebody else's mic is disgusting to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Just breathing on it and your snot's probably dried on it.
Ew.
It's disgusting. Uh okay, so I have some quick questions and then we can wrap this up. I want to respect your time. It's been an hour.
Oh no, I'm having a great time. You're
Okay,
good.
sweet. Yeah, me too. Thanks again for joining. This is fun.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Being a female producer, sometimes this is a weird topic for people to talk about, but I think it's important. You know, the music industry in a lot of ways still is very male dominant in some ways. And I think it's important to like support other women who are upcoming producers in the scene. So, like, what has been your experience with that? And what advice would you give to maybe other girls who are coming up in the music industry?
You know, I recently had this thought. Every video or post or whatever, like I upload, I'll get at least one comment from some random troll that's like, you didn't actually do this, or like someone else made this track and you're like, anytime I upload like a push performance video, it'll be like when someone else makes the track and you just push all the buttons, you know, or like if I'm post a video of me like DJing, it'll be like, oh, you're playing a pre-recorded set. Some other man must have like actually done the work for you. I get comments like that a lot, and I had the thought the other day that was like it's in 2025, like we have actual rocket scientists who are women, you know, like
Yeah, that's
like I
true.
they're the head of like I think the top leading like research university in quantum computing is a woman. So we
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
literal rocket scientists and quantum computing engineers who are women. If you can't even fathom the idea of a woman being able to like make a house track, which is just or like DJ or like play a little like drum loop, like you know, which is like there's quantum
Yeah.
computing and there's like astrophysicists, and then like what I'm doing is like not it's technical, sure. It takes a lot of like skill and time and talent to like, you know, master Ableton. It takes years to learn Ableton. So like it's sure it's technical, but like it's not rocket science. To any girls who are thinking about starting off, but they're intimidated or they're worried about imposter syndrome is a big one. Just
Yeah.
remember that like a lot of times I think dudes in the music industry, they like to make shit sound way more complicated than it actually is. So just I would my advice would be like don't be intimidated. It's technical, but like it's not rocket science, you know. And so if we have literal female rocket scientists, I think we can learn how to use Ableton.
I think it's like a really ignorant thought to think that talent is gendered because that's never been the case in all of history. Yeah, I think that it's like important to support, you know, everybody when it comes to making music. So I think like it unfortunately is a real reality, and there's gatekeepers and stuff and people who are going to try to discredit, but a lot of the times those people who are discrediting, those people are usually just jealous or like projecting their own insecurities.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
100%.
I think it's important to even just, you know, raise awareness for that or whatever. No, thanks for sharing that. I was gonna also ask like upcoming projects, anything you wanted to shout out on the podcast?
Yeah, I'm releasing my next song in like 2 weeks or next Friday. So I
Yes, I
don't know when
listened to it
this.
actually last night.
Oh, oh yeah.
Your manager, whoever sent it over, and it was dope. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I asked her to send it. Okay, I heard a study. I was just like on the BBC or whatever. The worse the economy is doing, the faster the average BPM of popular music.
What?
Pop No, it's a thing. Like the economy and average BPM of music is correlated. It's inversely
Just
correlated. Yeah.
never heard that.
So like right now, like techno's having a moment. UKG, like if you've noticed, like the BPM of average BPM in EDM is like really high right now. And the economy
Mhm.
is, we've been suffering from inflation. We never really fully recovered from the pandemic. So everything is really fast. And the theory is that it's has to do with like anxiety levels being high and like faster music like matching our collective anxiety levels.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so everyone's releasing really really fast stuff now. Everything's like 130 plus nowadays. And so I
That's
decided,
funny.
yeah, so I decided, you know what we haven't heard in a while, Moombatone and
Yeah.
like 100 BPM range stuff. So I was like, let me do the exact opposite of what is like trending right now. I don't know, no, absolutely no one is making Moombatone. That was like back in like 2012. I feel like it had like a moment with like Dylan Francis and Diplo. I wanted to make a comeback. Maybe we can fix the economy.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody just start making down tempo and then maybe
Yes,
we can slowly reverse.
slowly fix the economy. I know like causation versus correlation. I know it's the other way around,
Yeah.
but like, hey, maybe if we all just release slower music, if we like start doing more halftime stuff, go back to like 100 BPM or even lower, like maybe we can actually fix the economy. So
That's
that's
hilarious.
yeah.
That's really crazy. I've never heard that. And I just started researching and Googling and stuff. And there is an article talking about the 2008 financial crash and how there was a rise of more mellow music like Adele and Bon Iver and James Blake. That's when they were kind of rising up in that peak. So
Mm.
that's really weird.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence that I don't think that like techno is like having a boom right now.
Interesting. Maybe I
Yeah.
should. I mean, I just worked on a drum and bass track and I've never made one before. So maybe that's subconsciously why I'm like reevaluating all of it.
Yeah, and all these things come and go in phases, right? So like really fast high BPM music has been, I feel like, trending for a while now, and like hoping that like it'll like go back the other way soon.
Yeah,
Also just because I tend to prefer a lot of like halftime stuff. I
same.
personally really like Moonbatone. Like I know it's not like a thing right now. Even when it was a thing, it was kind of like people were kind of like making fun of it, but
I also think it depends where you are. Because if you're in like Colombia, like Moombahton is still huge,
of
like right
course,
now.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it probably also depends on the market you live in. Like Ali Stone was on the podcast. She makes a lot of Moombahton. She's in LA and it's still popping off where she's at.
Oh, okay.
So,
I don't know what that is. I need to
yeah,
look into it.
she's every time I see her on Instagram, it's like a repost of her getting another Grammy. It's just
Oh,
like, damn.
wow.
She's really sweet though, and she's super talented. She's like the queen of Latin America pop, Moonbatone. She plays like every instrument. She's really cool. You might like her.
Okay, no,
Um,
she sounds cool.
yeah, she's great.
I'll definitely like her.
Sweet. Okay, so last but not least, I usually have at the end of the podcast episode the guest ask my Ableton AI chatbot a question.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw the email or if you have a question. Usually anything that's like existential doesn't work great because he's not trained on that. But you're like, what's the meaning of life? Somebody asked him that. It didn't work out very well.
Can I ask it what the secret new Ableton features are gonna be? The
Well,
ones that you know that I don't know?
it doesn't know that kind of stuff. It only knows up from versions 9 through 12 point whatever's in that, but it also like knows other things too. It's running OpenAI, so it also knows everything ChatGPT knows, but it's more focused on like Ableton Live and music production.
Okay, what is maybe though this is kind of like a workaround. What is the most requested feature in Ableton that doesn't exist yet?
That's Yeah, nobody's asked that. That's a good question. Okay, so What is the most requested feature in Ableton Live that doesn't exist yet? Let's see what it says. So it says, I'm limited with real-time data on user requests or feedback with Ableton Live. However, common feature requests from users in the online community include things like improved MIDI editing, more advanced MIDI capabilities such as better note expression and articulation options, enhanced automation, more flexible and intuitive automation features, including Bezier curves and more complex automation shapes. That would actually be pretty cool.
Does this not
Native.
know about MPE? This is before they.
So it does say that while Ableton supports native MPE, Ableton Live has made strides in supporting MPE, but users often request more comprehensive integration. I wonder what that would be, though. Like, what would be more comprehensive integration than what already exists?
Yeah, then MPE I feel like is already quite.
Yeah, it's pretty sophisticated. And you have the MPE tools now with 12 as well. So there's like MPE expression and other stuff. It says improved audio editing, features like spectral editing or more advanced audio manipulation tools. Spectral editing would actually be interesting if you could do more stuff based off of like the frequency visually. That could be kind of cool. Better CPU optimization. That is a common thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
users often request improvements in CPU efficiency to
Yeah.
handle larger projects without performance issues. I mean, that's been the one thing everybody that's like coming over from Pro Tools who's like tracking an orchestra or whatever, they're like, yo, why can we not track like 50 audio tracks at one time without it taking a poop, you know? So
Yeah, no, that's I don't like tracking in Ableton. I don't like tracking in Ableton.
really?
Yeah, it's not my favorite. It's
Okay.
not my. I mean, I do track in Ableton. But for a long time, I would specifically use Logic just for tracking vocals, and everything else in Ableton.
Was that before Ableton added comping?
Yeah. Also, it was back when before I switched to my current Mac. So like
Oh, okay.
for the CPU reasons.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And even now, like I'm like have like the M3 or whatever, like the
Oh, those are nice.
most recent one. Yeah. Even now, like I would never track in my actual project. Like I always, export and track in a different project. So otherwise, my latency is like 3 full seconds.
Yeah, yo, honestly, yeah, that would be sad. That'd be real depressing. Yeah, the newest MacBook it's going to be really nice. I think it's the M5. M4 is the newest one. M5 will be the next one.
Okay, I'm on the M3, so I guess it's not the newest one then.
I honestly, you don't even need it. Like if I was going to upgrade right now, I wouldn't even go for an M4. I would look to save the money and just max out the cores with an M3 because Ableton Live doesn't even use all the cores anyway. So there's no real point in trying to get all the cores on the newest chip because it doesn't really necessarily, it hasn't been optimized to max out all the cores. So it's using the full specs of what your computer can do. But I'm sure in the future, eventually, I'm sure they'll maybe get there. Yeah, I watched a really interesting YouTube video on that. Kind of compared all the DAWs and how many cores are being used on the M chips by like 1 through 4.
Is there one that's using all of them?
I'd have to go back and rewatch it. I want to say that like I think Bitwig was using. It was either Bitwig or Cubase.
Okay.
I think one of those were actually like the top rank that was optimizing the most cores at one time. Yeah, I haven't played much with Bitwig, but anybody I've talked to that uses it, they really love it, and it's pretty fast and snappy, and it can handle a lot. Is there anything else you wanted to share, talk to people about, or maybe just the best place for people to connect with you online?
Yeah. I mean, I'm on all the platforms. I forgot to say this earlier, but I'm releasing my first album, my debut album this year.
Nice.
In October. It'll be 2 more singles and then the full album. Obviously, whole thing made on Ableton in my room.
Sick.
Which is just like I've been working on it for so long, since 2023.
Yo, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm so excited and just ready for like it to be out. And yeah, follow me anywhere, everywhere. And I do want to get more into like posting more about like production, and like sharing more whips and like I already have kind of like a big producer following, but just want to like be even more so. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I look forward to the album. And that's dropping in October, you said?
Yes.
Okay. And then the new track's coming out next week. So that should be live by the time this episode's live. So whoever's listening, go check out the links in the show notes for SHIMA and yeah, go listen to her music.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining the podcast. This was fun.
Yeah. Thanks so much. I had fun too.
All right. Sick. I'll see you later.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you don't hate me or the podcast, please leave a 5-star review, hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're listening, and it would really help me out. If you want to be the first to get new episodes, updates on events, some free downloads and stuff, go to abletonpodcast.com and make sure you enter your email, subscribe to the newsletter. I'll do my best to send you cool stuff. Check back on Tuesdays for brand new episodes. Make sure you go follow this guest for spending their time and energy hanging out. If you have any ideas or strong opinions about the podcast, please let me know. Just shoot me a message. Go to abletonpodcast.com, scroll to the bottom, send me a little message, and I'm happy to make this the best I can for you guys. Much love for listening, and I will see you next time.